Don't ever think that getting a puppy is an easy job. It was the hardest job that I have ever done.
Mandu just jumped right on my desk right now, and I have to move my keyboard. I have to move my mouse away from where he's sitting. Skippy likes to sing at night. For some reason, we don't know.
They are not properly vaccinated. They can get it from different animals. There's 90% chance they won't make it. Yeah, the doctors told me we can't promise you anything. He might not make it. I cried a lot in the hospital.
Hi, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Someone Like Us, the podcast where your hosts, Anne, Joelle, and me share stories and experiences about living abroad and navigating life. Our hope is that somewhere out there, someone like us finds comfort, connection, and maybe a new perspective from our conversations. Now, today's episode is a little lighter, but just as important. We're talking about pets, our fur babies, our companions, our first kids away from home. Now, bringing a pet into your life can be one of the most rewarding experiences and decisions, but it also comes with a lot of challenges. I'm talking training, expenses, and lifelong responsibility. Now, in Canada, pets are treated as full family members with pet insurance, doggy daycares, and even gourmet treats. But in many of our home countries, the relationship with animals can look very different. So I thought it would be nice to share our own pet stories, what we learned, and the things you should know before adopting or buying a pet. If you're considering getting a fur baby, this episode is for you. Now let's start with introductions and showing off our pets. Let's start with you, Anne. You have two cats, actually. Could you show us them and also tell us what made you decide to bring them home?
Yeah, well, my cats are sleeping, so I can't really interrupt them. I will put their photos on the videos. I have two cats. One is one orange tabby, and the other is a gray tabby. So the orange tabby is Mandu, and the other is Skippy. I adopted them in 2021. So they've been living with me for 4 years.
Mm.
They're pretty young. I think Mandu is 5 and Skippy is 6. They both, I would say, domestic, medium, and short hair. I think you can find that breed everywhere because it's like the most common breed of cats that you can find here. They both adopted cats. Mandu is from Manitoba,
Mm.
and I adopted him actually, I think right after COVID. During COVID, there was so many people wanting to adopt pets.
Mm-hmm.
And we tried so hard tried to find a cat to adopt. We went to different cat cafe and it was so competitive. Like it was crazy. But anyway, we found a less competitive shelter and then they sent us a pic and said, yeah, we okay with whatever cats you have. I just want to have a cat. And that's how we got Mandu. Skippy was adopted, but then returned because he couldn't live as a single cat. So he was returned to PetSmart. I saw his pics on Instagram and I love his story. So I went straight to PetSmart the next day and applied to adopt him. And yeah, so now they are my babies.
That is so cute. They're so cute.
Yes, they're very cute, and
They are.
that's a very cute story. What about you,
Yeah.
Joelle?
So my pet's name and my dog's name's Milo. Milo. I think he's sleeping too. I don't know what's up with Milo. Come. Oh, he's up. Come. Come. Be up. Up here.
Oh, hi, Milo. Oh, look at him.
Milo, come up. He's a big doggy, so he needs just a little bit. Okay, come sit.
Oh my
This-
goodness, look at him.
Oh my god. Can I record, please? Okay. This is Milo.
He's a handsome boy.
He's
Mhm.
very handsome. He gets compliments all the time. He is 3 now. I got him as a gift to my ex, actually, yeah, it was his birthday. And like he said he was a big dog person. So I tried to look into it. And then I found someone who was kind of like, he was a breeder. So
Mhm.
he farmed with lots of animals. and he had like a litter of like 7 puppies, and he was like giving them away, but he was like charging, like $400 or something like that. And then I saw Milo's picture, and as soon as I saw his picture, I was like, I need to have him. And like I was prepared to be a dog mom, so I was, even if my ex didn't want him, like I was completely ready to like have a dog in my life. So yeah, I just went to Kitchener, picked him up, and since then he's with me. But it was a crazy story because when I got him, immediately after that he was sick, and I had to
Mm-hmm.
hospitalize him, and I found out he had parvo, which is one of the
Mm-hmm.
diseases. If they are not properly vaccinated, they can get it from different animals, and from different
It's very
animals.
scary.
Yeah, it is because there's 90% chance they won't make it. It's only like
Mm-hmm.
few percentage that they would make it. And yeah, the doctors told me we can't promise you anything. He might not make it. I cried a lot in the hospital, and I was like, whatever, I'll pay the money. I just want to try to save him. And he's a fighter. He fought, and he's here
Mm-hmm.
now. He's healthy now. And I'm very lucky to have him.
How long was the healing journey for him?
It was very long because I think he got a lot of anxiety also with the hospital.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, being treated so young. So yeah, he was in the hospital for 2 weeks, and I paid
Mm-hmm.
around like $5,000 altogether because even like to send them to hospital and like for 2 weeks
Mm-hmm.
to like constantly take care of him and make sure that he's eating and he's like on his medications and stuff.
Mm-hmm. Now we're gonna talk a little bit about expenses and vets a little bit further in the episode. My dog's name is Mochi. Let's see if he's gonna come. Mochi, touch. Here's Mochi. He is a cockapoo. He is currently 1 year and 7 months, I believe. He's very naughty, and like any other cockapoos, which people have been telling me, is very anxious. He's very anxious. He has severe separation anxiety, especially with me, because when I got him, I started working from home. So I was mostly home, to be honest, and I didn't work on like kind of leaving him alone more because I was also kind of lazy and I was like stressed from getting a new job. So he has very bad separation anxiety, but other ones, he's the cutest dog ever and very naughty, exceptionally naughty. Um, a little bit of backstory. I actually did zero research when I wanted a dog. I was getting a new job, and I guess I was going through, I don't know, maybe it's a midlife crisis, whatever we call it. But I was just like, I really want a dog. And I was talking to my partner at the time, and my partner just also was getting a new job, and I was getting a new job. And he was like, it's kind of wrong. It's a very wrong time to get a dog because we're both getting like, jobs. And my argument was like, we are both working from home, so it's going to be very easy. Disclaimer, it was not. Don't ever think that getting a puppy is an easy job. It was the hardest job that I have ever done. But one thing I want to say is because I actually got him for Kijiji and I didn't do much research at the time. So looking back, I really think I think he comes from a puppy mill. And that is something I wish I had understood better before making that decision. Which brings me to the bigger question, what do you guys think? Adopt or shop? Do you have any kind of opinion on that?
I think for cat, adopt is fine because in general, cat tend to have less issues than dogs.
Mm-hmm.
They very independent. Like they will find their own food. They don't need to. I don't know. They very low maintenance and they have less complicated diseases compared to dogs. So yeah, I think it's safe to. Yeah, here it comes.
Mhm.
I would say it's safe to adopt cats. Like I have no issue with cats, but for dogs, I heard it's way more complicated because there's more breeds
Mm-hmm.
to look at. Yes, that's what I heard.
What about you, Joel?
I don't mind adopting. I just don't know. I've never done it. Even my dogs back home
Mm-hmm.
were from a PetSmart. We just
Mm-hmm.
went there and we saw the puppy's picture, and then we paid for the puppy, and then we got them home. So it's never been like we adopted, but I have wanted to, like I've told my friends if they ever, or like someone I would know is in need to give away their pet, I would be willing to like take
Mm-hmm.
the pet and give them a good life and love them and all of that. So I don't mind both. Like it's like depends on preference, but I don't really have a preference. I think both things are really good.
Mm-hmm. I think both things are good too. And honestly, in the end of the day, there a lot of people have different opinions. It's up to what you can afford, what is in your wallet. Of course, if you're looking at the actual, like, like proper breeder, then you're looking at getting a puppy for at least $2,000. And this is not considering if you have to fly for a different province or state to get that puppy. I know people who flew from one province to Ontario to just get that puppy. And again, it was like, let's say $2,000 or at least $3,000 for that. On top of that, you have flights. So that could be very expensive. However, you should also be looking at, if the place where you're getting the dog is providing a proper care for your puppies.
Yeah.
Basically, if it's a puppy mill or not. Now, puppy mill is where people are breeding the dogs. They don't care about the health of a mom or dad. They're just breeding it to make a quick cash from all the people. They're selling the dogs are usually for way cheaper than others. It's not going to be like $800. It's going to be like $500 or less. So for me, my experience on Kijiji kind of made me realize how important it is to know where that pet is coming from. When I got Mochi, he smelled a lot, and I thought it may be because he just needed a bath. Again, I did zero research. It was my own fault. We came home. We probably traumatized him from washing him because he smelled so bad, and like the smell didn't walk away. And then when we went to the pet store for the first time, the vet showed me the ears, which I didn't even check, and ears were like crazy. Like they were messed up. Like all that smell was coming from the ears. Once they cleaned it up, it was perfect. So something again that I wish I understood earlier. So for everyone who is listening, I have a quick list of how to spot a puppy mill or basically red flags. Now, firstly, seller won't let you see the parents or mom or where the puppies live. Now, that is actually checks off for Mochi. When we got Mochi, we drove a very long time, and I assumed that we were meeting them at the house, but actually they brought Mochi out into like we were in front of like a pizza place or something. It was like just like a piece of like grass there, a patch of grass, and he brought us the dog. He brought us the dad, but didn't bring the mom. And later, when I did some research, I realized that people will usually not bring the mom because mom is usually in the worst condition because all she does is like provides the puppies. With the dog, obviously, we all know with the male dogs and the male males, there's not much work that could be done that will affect your health, basically. The second tip is they will have multiple litters or breeds for sale at once. Now, for me, that didn't work out like that. Mochi was the last one to pick up. All his brothers and sisters were already gone. Puppies are sold too young, under 8 weeks. Again, usually, if it's a regular breeder, it will wait at least 8 weeks before they can take the puppy away because it's very stressful for the puppy as well. Mochi was actually 3 months, which I didn't know because on the Kijiji ad, it actually said that it was like 3 weeks. And then when we got the vet passport, which we did actually, it was 3 months. They will have no clear vet records of vaccines, and the seller will also rush the sale and will only take cash. This is what our seller told us to bring cash. So that is what we did. So for everyone's getting the dog out there, just beware of those signs. Now, let's talk about training. It is where the real work begins. Now, Anne, I don't even know if I should include you in this section. Do you know if you can actually train cats?
No, they will train you.
Mm-hmm.
They
That's what I
change our
thought.
life.
That is
Yeah.
hilarious.
You just have to live around them, to be honest. Mandu just jumped right on my desk right now, and I have to move my keyboard. I have to move my mouse away from where he's sitting. Skippy like to sing at night.
Oh my god.
For some reason we don't know. So we have to put him into our bathroom at night.
Mhm.
Otherwise he's gonna sing at 4 or 5 a.m. in the morning. Yeah, that's like a lot of different things that we have to learn to live with them. I don't know. I don't think there's a way to train a cat unless you have them when they really young,
Mm-hmm.
like at a kitten. And there's a documentary on Netflix about cats. I think there's a lady who's expert in cat training. So cat apparently trainable if you have them when they're very young.
Mm-hmm.
But if you have them like, I think I got Mandu when he was probably 6 months old, already too big. So he already formed his personality and characters. Same with Skippy, so too late.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I think with cats, you kind of don't even have to train them to go potty, right? Like they kind of figure out themselves where to go.
I think so. So I never buy a cat.
Mhm.
Our family had 3 cats before, and they all rescue, or we got it we got it from like our neighbors. We never had to train them to use a little box. It's pretty easy. Like they just learn from their mom, and yeah, or you can just put them in a small room with the little box, and they will find a way how to do the deed. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. What
That
about
is
you,
so
Joel?
cool.
How did you approach training Milo? Was it easy or did you struggle?
Milo has he's always been a very sweet dog. I don't know where he got his personality from, but he's very nice, very considerate, and tries to like please others. He was super easy to train. I took him to maybe 3 PetSmart classes. It was like an intro
Mm-hmm.
class. And after that, it was he just picked it up and he doesn't like fighting with other dogs. He's like likes to play with dogs and he's very easygoing. So I think
Mm-hmm.
I got lucky with him honestly. His personality is very nice and very easy to train. So for me it was easy.
Did you get any like general challenges that comes with having a dog, like, chewing or house training, scratching, or again, separation anxiety?
Oh my God, yeah. The first few months I remember he would bite on everything and he's a big dog, so like all my shoes were gone. He would like bite off like walls and
Mm-hmm.
like literally like wallpaper and I don't know, like it was a lot of destruction. Not gonna lie, the first 6 months are always hard with a puppy. But
Mm-hmm.
once their teething is over, he calmed down. He never did that again. So it was, yeah, teething phase is always hard.
Yeah, especially you have like a bigger dog, so like teething with a smaller dog, I feel like it could be less disruptive, less painful. But when it's a big dog and the big dog doesn't know that it's big, this is where like it can be a little bit challenging. Now, again, I believe Milo is like a mix of border collie, right?
Yeah,
Something like that, right?
he's a border collie mix. I'm pretty sure he also came from a puppy mill because
Mm-hmm.
he also had parvo and his conditions were
Mm-hmm.
pretty much like from a farm. So,
Mm-hmm.
and I never saw the parents either. So I know the
Mm-hmm.
mom is a border collie, but I don't know what his mix is.
Mm-hmm.
So I really don't know.
Did you know how active a bigger dog would be before getting the dog? Like that you would have to be pretty active with them to get them tired?
Yeah, I wanted an active dog
Mm-hmm.
because for me, I wanted to push myself to be more like go on trails, be in the nature. So I really
Mm-hmm.
wanted like Border Collie mix for me, like it was my choice. Like I really wanted a like active dog so I can be active.
Mm-hmm.
But
Mm-hmm.
yeah, like he's pretty easygoing. Like even now he likes to play a lot, but he's also easy now to like it's easy for him to calm down. As a puppy, he was hard to handle. Like I had to take him for multiple walks, make sure he's
Mm-hmm.
getting his exercise in. So that was a lot of work for sure.
Mm-hmm. Did you guys, again, I feel like Anne is just chilling here because her pets are just amazing, right? She doesn't have to deal with it at all. But did you guys ever had like a frustrating time, whether it was like when you're training them in the beginning or when you just maybe got them, like your pets?
Oh yeah, every day. Um, I think the most frustrating moment was when we got Skippy. So we put Skippy in our bathroom. We didn't want to show Skippy, show Mandu Skippy because we know, cats are very territorial. Mandu started hissing
Mm.
at the door of the bathroom,
Yeah.
even though he didn't see Skippy, but I think he could smell it, and he kept hissing at Skippy for 3 days. We lost sleep because we have to separate them. We live in such a small apartment. I think if we lived in a 2 bedroom, it would have been better. But the only place that we can separate them was either living room or bedroom or living room and our bathroom. So it's just a lot of moving pieces. We have to separate them, otherwise they're gonna kill each other. And Skippy really likes singing, so
Mm-hmm.
we can't really put him into our bedroom. We just have to keep moving them around. And they have to eat separately. They have to use their little boxes separately. It was a lot of stress. But after 3 days, I think they started to like each other. You know, they started licking each other. So after that, it's fine.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep.
So that's like our daily frustration with him. He just starts singing at like 10 p.m., 10:30, and
Mm-hmm.
we have to give him some treats so to shut him up. And then we have to put him in the bathroom so then he can leave us alone so we can have a good sleep. So yeah, I can tell you this story every day.
Mm-hmm.
It's just our life now. Yeah.
What about you, Joel? Did you have any frustrating moment while you were training or when he was younger?
Yeah, I think like the teething part obviously was very
Mm-hmm.
hard. And I was working a lot at the time, so
Mm-hmm.
I couldn't spend enough time to train him as much as I
Mm-hmm.
wanted. But once he recovered from parvo, what I realized was he was very into food. So
Mm-hmm.
the easiest way to train him was give him some treats and make sure he
Mm-hmm.
follows my instructions. And that way, like I was able to train him. But yeah, and he's a very active dog. So I had to
Mm-hmm.
make sure that yeah, like I go for runs with him. I let him be free in the field. He loves running around.
Mm. Well, you put him off leash. I'm a little bit scared still with like my dog to put him off leash. So I don't know how you do it, but we're just learning right now on how to do touch. He's pretty good with that. So maybe someday, but I'm just like one of those moms that are like, no, no way. Um, but training him was really easy because Mochi is very food motivated. Like you show him the treat, it could be the tiniest treat ever. He will still like look at you right away. So that was easy. It was hard for me because this was my first time I ever had a dog. I only met dogs from my friends. So I thought getting a dog is so easy. You just got them on the puppy and look at them. They're so smart and it's going to be amazing. And I will just say something and they will listen to me. That is not the case. That was honestly one of the toughest like experiences in my life training him. He has such a bad separation anxiety that doing house training with him is very challenging. Like potty and pee, he understands that he needs to do it outside now. We go out, he do it right away. However, like if we leave somewhere and he's too scared, then he will just go at home. So this is like the bane of my existence. And sometimes I'm just like, oh, what did I do? Like, why did I do it to myself? Um, I signed up Mochi for training classes like Puppy 101 at Toronto Humane Society. And it was pretty cheap compared to when I was doing research, other trainers, they're charging like something like $500, $1,000 and more. For Toronto Humane Society, it was only $150.
Yeah. I don't remember exactly how much it was, but it was expensive. That's why I stopped after the third class.
Mm-hmm.
There was
Mm-hmm.
also another one that I was considering. They also do like a private training classes where
Mm-hmm.
they bring the puppies, and that one was so expensive. And like,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I just was like, no, no way.
No, I also looked into like private training and I was just like, this is something that I can definitely cannot afford. What I can afford is searching on Google. There's lots and lots of resources for you out there. Go on YouTube. Just literally go on YouTube. You can train anything. Anything that Mochi knows is something that I learned from YouTube or I just went online or even ChatGPT. Now, the next thing I wanted to talk about was puppy blues. Before we move in, I wanted to ask Anne, did you ever had like, I guess like cat blues or kitten blues when you got your cats? Did you ever regret the decision or even thought about that?
I mean, from time to time, I
Mm-hmm.
would think about it for like 1 second
Mm-hmm.
when I'm frustrated with them, mostly with Skippy.
Mm-hmm. We're all
Um,
humans. That
With his
that is normal.
singing.
yeah, because of the singing and also because every time we need to travel, like we need to find someone who can
Mm-hmm.
take care of them. But we kind of learn how to live with them. They're quite easy. We have an
Exactly.
auto feeder for them. We have an auto feeder for them. We have a really, really nice neighbor who can to check on them from time to time. We have a pet cam that we can check on them. So No, I don't regret. I don't regret getting my cat. Only, just a few seconds a day, but because of Skippy. And yeah, I mean, it costs us also a lot of money whenever they get sick too. But I don't think I regret. I really want to have cats in my life. I'm a giver. I want to take care of something.
What about you, Joel? Did you have puppy blues at all?
I really wanted Milo. Like I was the one when I saw his picture, I really wanted him. I had mentally prepared myself because I've had dogs back home and I've always been around dogs. So I had mentally prepared that, oh, this is a big responsibility you're taking on. So like you can't regret it. Like I already knew that this is a big decision. And I guess like because I was around dogs growing up, it was easier for me to make that decision. I do sometimes think that maybe I should get another dog, but that I won't do. Then then my mind's like it's too much. I I don't think I can do it that and I know I will regret it. So I stop myself from thinking it because sometimes I'm like, oh, I'm too busy. Maybe Milo would love a brother or a sister, but that I don't think I can. I'm ready to, or I know how much work that would be. I don't think I want that. So yeah, definitely when I was getting Milo, I was ready because I've had experience with dogs before.
Now, this is something for our listeners to actually take into account for. You can see how different the conversation goes between me and Joel and Anne. If you know that you are not ready to take care of someone to always go for walks, then definitely cats is a choice for you. Now, for me, the story is different from you guys. I had mad puppy blues. Like, it was bad. But also, honestly, like, I feel like my mental health is not normal. I'm kind of like a stressed person in general. So, having this responsibility was like, it's just something that was really, really hard for me, considering I also had a new job and I was stressed about that. And I remember I always joke about it and always tell the story how I was like bawling my eyes and I'm like asking my boyfriend, like begging him. I was like, we need to return this dog. I cannot do it anymore. And then my boyfriend was like, me, I don't think we can do it. Like, this is kind of a little bit too late. But I'm glad we didn't because honestly, it all will make sense in the end. Even right now, of course, Mochi still frustrates me. He's still quite young. But I try to tell myself, you know what? Like, you already survived so much. What else there? My biggest thing was the chewing as well. I have a patch in my kitchen where that flooring was already kind of bad, so it's not just Mochi's fault. I will stand on this hill defending that. But he kind of ripped it off. Like he ripped the whole like chunk of the floor.
Yeah.
And I was just like, well, oh shit, what do I do now? So I decided I'm just gonna grab kitchen mat that like sticks and you can never remove it. And I just like covered that and I was just like, I'm just gonna pray about it later when I need to. For now, one thing I want to tell somebody if somebody is going through this or having a puppy or about to have a puppy, you're not alone. Everyone is going through this. One tip I recommend is go on Reddit and go into Puppy 101 subreddit. Firstly, it is the best for if you want to ask anything regarding like training tips or if you have, like anything you want to ask, that community is great. They will answer your questions. But secondly, every now and then somebody will always post like, oh my God, I am done with my puppy. I think I hate my puppy or I think I don't love my puppy. And everyone just jumps there and says the same thing. We all went through this as well. Don't worry. Someday it will make sense. It might not make sense today. You're probably sleep deprived because you have to walk your puppy, I don't know, like every 30 minutes during the night or every 3 hours, like any other real baby. This is what we did as well for like our first 3 days. We barely slept. Everyone is going through this. Honestly, it's all worth it. So just please hang in there. Now, I love the topic of money, not in the same way that probably Anne, because Anne will show you how to save money. I
Yeah.
just like to talk about like, well, how much did it cost? So let's talk about expenses because we already noticed that having pets isn't cheap, especially in Toronto and Vancouver. On average, how much do you guys spend monthly on food, treats, and supplies? Or maybe in 3 months, whatever estimate you want to give me.
For Mandu and Skippy, we spend about 140 on food every month. And for their supplies, it can change. Like we only need to order their stuff for their little box maybe every 4 months. I think it would be so another $100 every 4 months. So let's say $25 more. Other than that, there's nothing else we spend on them. Like initially we did, buy a cat condo. We bought a lot of scratching pads and scratching boards for them, and then toys too. But honestly, they play with the toy that we buy for them for 2 days, and then they bored, and then they stick with what? A little bit of, the bread strings
Mm-hmm.
and just something very silly, or like elastic bands and the little strings. They don't even play with toys that we buy. So honestly, people, when you adopt a cat or a dog, don't spend any money on toys because it will be a waste of money. Yeah, I think that's everything we spend in terms of supplies. And then we spend about $140 for the insurance.
That's
What about you, Joel?
expensive.
It
Yeah,
is
I was like,
expensive.
even for cats, I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah, 140 per month. I was just like, this doesn't sound like a cat. But also
Well,
have
that
two,
for
right?
two
Mhm.
cats.
Yeah.
That for two of them.
Oh, yeah,
Do
that's
they eat
true.
like wet food?
Yeah, they do eat wet food because I want to feed them wet food.
Then-
Cats tend to have kidney disease. So I
Oh.
know that it's cheaper for them to eat dry food, and it's cleaner for us and more convenient.
Mhm.
But I only feed them dry food as, treats at night for Skippy. Skippy love his dry food. And then when we not at home, we use the auto feeder, then we will have to use the dry food. Otherwise, if I'm at home, I'm just going to feed them the wet food because it is expensive. But I think in the long term, it will save me money from the vet.
Do you do like
That's
a
my-
gourmet or just like a regular like cat wet food?
Just regular one. I use Naturally Urban. It's
Mhm.
like an online pet shop. They deliver food to your door, and the price is not. It's pretty much the same at PetSmart. To be honest, it's even cheaper because you buy it in boxes. So I just buy 2 boxes of wet food for Mandu and Skippy every month, and yeah.
I feel like Milo has been an expensive puppy, not gonna lie. Like the Parvo thing was like huge, huge money. I had to fundraise
Mhm.
for it actually. So I literally had a
Really?
fundraising page that I made, and I was asking anybody and anyone who's willing to like, like give a few bucks because honestly, like it was a big, big prize, like paying $5,000 to save your puppy. And
Sure.
there's not even a choice. Like if someone asks you, like, hey, do you want your kid to die or you want your,
Mhm.
I'm like, you don't even have a choice. You have to try as much as you can. Yeah. So after that, I was still like recouping. But once he was, I guess, like trained a little bit, so pee pads, like those costs
Mhm.
go down. And then the dry food is cheaper. So it's like 60, 70 a month, which is no,
Mhm.
60, 70 for maybe a month and a half or so that's pretty good. And yeah, he's food motivated, so it's pretty easy to like give him maybe if there's something extra that he can eat, I just feed him that and from like the food we have at home.
Mhm.
But the funny part is he hates fruits apart from cantaloupe, which is so weird to me. I'm
Oh,
like,
bougie.
cantaloupe. Yeah, but cantaloupe is not even a good fruit. Like I give him strawberries, he
I
won't eat
love
it.
I love
What?
cantaloupe. I will take cantaloupe over anything. Yeah, or like a melon.
Wow. Oh wow.
Mhm.
Okay. So yeah, Milo loves that. And yeah, his pet insurance is I think now it is $100. It was cheaper when I first started it.
Mhm.
And this is how expensive things are getting, guys. Like everything's getting expensive. Like I kept getting emails after a few months. Oh, the insurance going up. The insurance is going
Yep.
up. And now it is $100 a month. But it
Mhm.
covers a lot. And I use Trupanion and I really love Trupanion because every time I go to the vet and if there is something unexpected that happened to him, they right away cover it. So I don't have to pay anything from my pocket.
Mm.
And I don't even have to deal with it. Like they deal with it. So
Mhm.
I love Trupanion that in that way, and it did help me a lot. So yeah, I would suggest Trupanion to people, like for dogs especially. And I was thinking of canceling his insurance, but to be very honest, I'm not gonna do that. Like,
I mean, with your experience, right? Like, do you have another $5,000 to just like give it to Milo if something happens, right? I'm also pro insurance. This is my main reason behind it. do you have the money if something happens? Some people say with the same way you can just like take the money that you're putting for insurance and putting it away somewhere in the safe. However, once it's done, you are using the $10,000. So then your $10,000 less, and then you need to start that fund all over again. And then what if something happens the next week, right? You already
Yeah.
gave $10,000. What if you need another 10? So I don't think the argument that you don't need the pet insurance and you can just save it separately actually works. I totally agree with you here. Something I never told is like when Mochi came, when he was young and he came to me, he didn't have parvo, but he basically had something that is called giardia, which is like a bacteria or parasites like within his
Oh no.
tummy. The test, because my vet asked me to every time to ask the test, like a poop test for him. The test itself is like $190 just
Yeah.
for them to check the poop of my dog. And I did that. They asked me to do it like at least 5 times. By last time, I was already like, you know what? I'm done with this. Just like do something that will help because like they kept giving him like, like to clear things out. We would do it, and then in a couple of days he will get it again. So instead, we focused on actually like making his tummy, like a flora, a little bit better. So I had to buy some, probiotics, and we have to give him some fiber to make his poop better, and it helped. But that was a chunk of money in the beginning, and I also didn't have insurance, so I spent at least like $3,000 or $4,000 on that, like at least 3,000, I would say, in general. Mochi's food is I think $80 because I'm buying like a huge thing, and it usually lasts around 2 months.
Months.
Yeah, so 2 months, $80. That's not that bad. Treats, I don't really want to even check that because every time I pass a pet store, I'm like, what can I get from Mochi this time? And the same thing with Dollarama. I highly suggest to buy all the toys in Dollarama. You don't have to buy it in the PetSmart, except for
Yeah.
like special toys like Kongs. If you want to keep them busy, like Kong is amazing, or like a slow feeders or like licking mats. Those you can buy in a specialized store. With regular toys, Dollarama is the way. And I know like there's lots of toys for cats as well in Dollarama. I have my friend, she has a cat and she has lots of things and she always gets them from Dollarama. So this is a great option. I'm not even account for that because again, every time I pass Dollarama, I'm like, what can I get for Mochi? So I would say like half of the problem with Mochi expenses is his mom because his mom just cannot stop buying stuff. Mochi doesn't even care about all the toys. I buy him all these toys, and he carries my partner's socks everywhere. So lots of
Yeah.
expenses there for sure. And I'm glad that we all together agreed that pet insurance is a must. I pay, I think, around $80 per month for Mochi. What about you, Anne? How much do you pay it? You said
140 for both of them.
that's not bad, right? This is like a regular.
Yeah, but I mean, if you buy pet insurance, you should start early when they're young because it's cheaper. And I mean, it's gonna get more expensive every year.
Mhm.
It's just how insurance works. But I did the math. When I first got Mandu and Skippy, we thought cats are very low maintenance. They don't have any
Mhm.
issues
Mhm.
until Skippy got hospitalized. He went to emergency, and I got like a $3,000 bill
Oh God.
because he has urinary infection.
Mhm.
So technically, he couldn't pee, he couldn't do his bowel movement. So they have to flush it out for him, and it's kind of a surgery. Yeah. And the vet was like, yeah, if you delay bringing him to the vet, he could have died.
Mm.
So it was a very stressful situation for us. And I mean, luckily we had the money because we would, we kind of put some money away every month for the cat instead of buying insurance. But after that, we're like, no, we need to buy insurance. Let's say we buy at $50 a month compared to the $3,000 bill. Like, how long do you have to save until
Mhm.
you have the $3,000?
Exactly.
So it just makes sense to buy pet insurance. But the thing I don't like about pet insurance, I don't know if insurance for dogs is the same, but insurance for cats are kind of scammy. Like, it doesn't cover dental issues.
Yeah.
Because cats will always have dental issues. So pet insurance don't cover dental procedure, dental cleaning, dental surgery, or dental extraction. They don't cover anything. And any, I guess this is kind of the same with all kinds of insurance. Any existing condition they don't cover.
Mhm.
They only cover like accidents. and
Mhm.
unexpected illness. So one time Skippy had fractured legs, and yeah, we got covered, and that's about it. But you still need to get it just for, just to have peace of mind and just in case of accident, because just one bill and it will flip your life over. Yeah.
That's true.
No, exactly.
Is it the same with
The
is it the
same.
same with
It's
dogs?
the same.
Yes,
Mm.
it's the same. I actually got I am with Fetch, and there was additional package there. And you know how I do research, right? Like if it's something that is truly interesting, I will do research as much as I can. If it's something related to being an adult, I'm like, ugh, you know. So I just schemed through, and I was like, oh, they said that that package will cover every year shots that Mochi needs to get, neutering, and there's other stuff. But
Oh,
when I got
wow.
it, so it went from $50 to basically 80 or something with that extra package. But when I got it, they're only covering $25 for each shot. The shots are 60, it could be from $50 to $100. And they're
Yeah.
only covering 25 for each shot. On top of that, with the neutering, they only covered $100.
Well, at least they cover shots. So
Yeah.
for cats, any kind of preventative things, preventative exams, health check, they don't cover any of that.
Yeah, but I got the special package, but then now I'm like, I don't really need it. I feel like it doesn't really make sense. $25, I can freaking pay $25. And for that $25 for each shot, I'm paying extra $30 each month. Come on. Math is not mathing here, and even I can understand that. This is how bad it is, right? So I'm just this is something that I need to probably reach out to them and clarify, but I tried to go online to just cancel that special package that I added, and I cannot. Of course, I probably need to reach out to them personally and reach out to customer service so I can cancel that whatever add-on that I added. So that is something I'm like, all insurances will be scammy, no matter what it is. Whether it's pet insurance, house insurance, car insurance, they will try to scam you out. They will try to get as much money as possible.
Yeah, and if it's good, then it's gonna be hella expensive.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. In your opinion, if somebody is planning to get a pet, how much should they realistically budget for this?
I would say for cat, if you adopt from a shelter, it's probably 250 or 260 per cat. And it usually comes with all the medical record. So when Skippy came to us, he already have all of his vaccines, his neuter. Yeah, rescue usually cover all of those basic things. So I think it's good. You kind of have to pay for it anyway. And in terms of food, you can just go on PetSmart and check whatever you can afford. Obviously, we want to feed the best food to our cat, but it also have to fit your budget too. Yeah, I would say $300 for the adoption, and then maybe for cats, I would say another 200 for supplies for the first month, because you would need to get different things, but obviously stick to the basic for cat. Just get food, litter box, 3 things. That's only 3 things you need. Don't overspend on cat condos. Don't overspend on all the toys. If you need it later. You usually don't, because I bought them a lot of toys. I even bought cat grass, so I can grow grass, so my cat can eat. Sometimes they will throw up because they have hairballs. So eating cat grass usually help them with digestion, but it didn't last. So yeah, so just stick to the basic. I would say for cat, probably budget 500.
I think it's similar, but I always think that because when you get a pet, and especially it's your first kid, so you end up spending a lot, even on toys. You're getting all the things. You don't even know if they will like it or not, but you're getting it because it's your kid and you don't know. But then with time, I think the expenses do come down. And you get smarter on oh, I don't need to buy toys. He has a lot of toys already. Or, make homemade toys. I have these old rags that I tie it up and put some treats in it. So Milo is busy with it for a little bit, every day. So I don't have to buy an expensive Kong. I don't go to PetSmart anymore. I try to either go to Dollarama or even if I ask other people if they're giving away toys, and I just take those. So yeah, with time, I think you get better with expenses. But initially, I was buying him everything. I bought him some interactive toys from Amazon,
Oh,
which
me
which
too.
were which was like a shark, and it had a tail which would move, so he would,
Mm-hmm.
you know.
Yeah, I bought that too.
I bought him like a lot of things that he didn't need and didn't want,
Mm-hmm.
but it's just an experiment to see, what your dog likes or what your kid likes, basically. Yeah. It's like, so I treated him like, oh yeah, you want this, I'm buying it, but not anymore. Now I know where to stop.
Another thing I wanted to also highlight is how Anne said that when you adopt, your pet comes already neutered or castrated, whatever the word you want to use. This is a huge, huge chunk of money for a dog. It depends on the size. Joel, for yours, is probably even more expensive. But
Yeah.
if you go to a regular vet, I'm just comparing Toronto, and I also live like closer to downtown area, although it's not downtown. But my vet quoted me like $1,000 for neutering.
Yep. Yeah.
hmm
It's
Yeah, so this
crazy.
is something you have to take into account when you're planning a dog. You know, like if it's from, I think the regular breeder will also neuter them themselves for the dogs as well. But if you're just buying it somewhere else, trying to cut the cost, know that the cost will catch up on you. I went around and asked other people what they did. So everyone said you should try Toronto Humane Society. And I
Yeah.
believe Joel also did that as well. So in my case, Mochi's neutering was $300 because he was like a small dog. I believe like bigger dogs, they are more expensive. Joel, yours probably more expensive, right?
Yeah, I paid 450 for
Yeah,
Milo's.
450.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's still cheaper if you take into account $1,000 versus 500. However, you have to fight to even get the place because it
That's
gets
true.
booked like
Yeah.
crazy. They only release like time slots at 8 a.m. at this specific Tuesday, every second Tuesday, I believe, although they can change it. So you should definitely check on their website. But yeah, you literally have to set alarm. I usually wake up at like 8:30. I open my eyes, turn around, and like started booking. And I was so sleepy that I booked for a medium dog instead. But I was just happy that I was able to book it because I selected one date and then bam, it was filled. So I had to select
Yeah.
another date. And it was like 7 a.m. in the morning. So if you're trying to do it, it will definitely help you, but it's a competition.
Yeah, it really is. Like, it was
Yeah.
hard to get a date and a time.
hmm
Very hard.
Yeah, I think usually rescue and shelter they partner with different vets so they can get a lot of medical procedure done at a discounted rate.
hmm
So yeah, you should definitely check it out. I think for Skippy, he came with everything already done, but for Mandu, he came intact. The shelter told us some of their vet partners. All we need to do is just to bring Mandu there, and the vet will do everything, and then the shelter will pay the money. So it works out really nicely for us. Yeah.
No, for sure. Yeah, so take that into account. The food is generally $80, so this is something you have. And I would probably say you have probably $300 just to spend on like buying new like toys and the bowls and all that stuff. I know, Joel, you said you're not even buying Kong anymore. I cannot live without my Kong. I need to keep Mochi busy. So for me, licking mats and Kong is the two like things that I always use, especially if I'm leaving the house, trying to get him from the separation anxiety. I know that we are almost running out of time, but I wanted to talk about having pets in Canada versus back where you are from. Because again, we know that here in Canada, we treat our pets like our children. Like Mochi actually has my last name in the vet, and I'm very proud of that. I already told my mom that this is your grandson. I know that this
Yeah.
is not the grandson you want, but this is the grandson that you get. So, could you tell me a little bit how does having a pet in Canada compare to your home country?
Definitely better in Canada when it comes to cats. I would say dogs too,
Mm-hmm.
because there was a very terrible tradition in very old tradition in Vietnam that still exists. I mean, it's getting
It's very rare though, right?
not rare. I think you still see it from time to time, but people do eat cats
Mm-hmm.
and dogs in Vietnam. I think dogs are more popular. Yeah, it's really sad. So when I had my cat in Vietnam, I will always keep it at home.
Mm-hmm.
I can't let it outside. Otherwise, it's gonna, jump to the neighbors and walk outside and someone can steal it and resell it at the market
Mm.
or just put it in slaughterhouse, which is really sad. And then I think at least where I live, there wasn't a lot of vets available. When my first cat got sick, I had to ask everyone I know just to find a vet. I had to go pretty far away from my house and pay for board for the cat. So it was very, very tough. Now I think it's getting better for cats and dogs because there's more and more, vendor who sell medications and supplies, and there's more people, love animal who want it to be a vet.
Mm.
It's getting better now, but still, if I want to have a pet, I would rather have it in Canada.
No,
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah.
And before we get all the, because I know topic of like, like Asians and like eating cats and dogs is like, it's a very topic that a lot of people may use against us. So before you all go absolutely crazy in the comments, if this ever go viral, this is not everyone's doing that. It is like Anne said, this is an old tradition that has been like passed down for generations. The newest generation don't actually do it. And I don't know anyone
Yeah.
from my friends that actually have done this before. Again, maybe you will find it in the older village. There are some villages there that like they will still do it. But if you go to the regular, like city, again, if you look for it, you will always find something that you're looking for. However, don't think that you go outside in Vietnam and then there's people selling cats and dogs everywhere. Joel, what about your experience in India?
Yeah, we have a very bad reputation. I feel like my people generally are very scared of dogs, and I don't know where it comes from.
Mhm.
But we have a lot of stray dogs on the street. They're just like a part of the community. They just live. They don't do anything. They just don't have anywhere else to go. So they are just part of the streets, and they find their own homes. Like they find some corners where they could stay, where they could live and stuff like that. My mom is really into animals. She actually feeds all the street dogs in on our street,
Mm.
and she also feeds all the animals like cows, crows, cats, like, and everyone that's around our street. Like my mom goes out every morning and evening to feed them. Recently, there was like the government was trying to get rid of stray dogs, but I feel
Mhm.
like how you said Gen Z and the new people, the youth, they all like spoke up and they were like, no, that's
Mhm.
not gonna happen. They're street dogs and they're not doing any harm to anyone. So you can't do that. And there was a lot of protests against it. So
Mhm.
the government finally decided, okay, you know what, we're not gonna do that. Only the dogs that are rabid or aggressive will be taken to shelters, but other than that, they will just let the other dogs be. And yeah, I think it's getting better with time. I remember when I was growing up, there was a lot of like people would just like hit dogs for no reason. Like
Mhm.
they would just kick them, and that was so crazy to me growing up. So I would definitely like, I know I have dogs back home, but I got them through a like a proper pet company.
Mhm.
So like a PetSmart basically. So it was very good. I also think that we never neuter them back home and their health care is not that good. So every time we have to go to a vet with our dogs, we just don't know what's going on with them because we don't have enough vets and we don't have enough knowledge. So
Mhm.
it's mostly like, oh, we don't know, but hang in there. And
Mhm.
then, like, my first dog passed away like that, and still didn't know what was wrong with him. So it's kind of hard. Like, it's getting better with time. I agree. Like, there are people more interested in saving dogs and doing things for animals, but it wasn't like that when I was back there. So I definitely wouldn't have a pet back home.
Mhm. If I compare to Russia, I would say it's probably closer to Canada. People like just getting a dogs, like the same as we are and treating them like a family member. However, I do have a friend. She has a dog as well, also adopted. And she said that, like the adopted animals, they all will be neutered. However, neutering is not a big thing in Russia. Like, not a lot of people actually do
Oh,
that. So I found this very interesting because I didn't know that because when I was there, I was still didn't have any pets and I wasn't really interested. So that is what I found interesting. I'm a firm believer you should probably do that. I don't want to have any accidents. I don't want my dog to come home like a teenager, and I'm scolding him like, you couldn't even keep it in your fur. What is going on here? I thought like neutering is probably a decision that I should do. And I think like with overpopulation of dogs, like for example, like Joel in India, the problem is not the dogs themselves. I feel like the problem is like with the street dogs is like somebody has to put resources to neuter them because we
Yeah.
don't want the street dogs to keep overpopulating them. Of course, we can feed them. Of course, feeding them is good, but in the end of the day, you cannot help them by feeding them. You can only helping them by taking these dogs away, maybe neutering them if you have the means to help, or going to the shelter to neuter, and then you can let them out again, as long as they cannot overpopulate.
And I think my mom's done that. My mom generally takes like female dogs from our street to get it neutered because honestly, the situation of the female dog gets worse than every time they get pregnant by some random street dog. And it's actually very bad. And yeah, like I totally agree. Like we should just take them to a shelter and get them neutered because it's not okay. And the female goes through way more stuff than the male. The male's gone. Like he runs away and the female dog ends up
Exactly.
taking care of all the puppies. So it's crazy.
Yeah, we have some street
Yeah.
dogs in Russia as well. We have a lot of street cats in Russia as well. In Vietnam, I think it's too, right? And because I definitely saw some, but I would
Yeah.
I would say
Yeah.
generally, like with the older generation, they would usually keep pets outside of the house. It wouldn't be like an inside dog.
Yeah, if you live in the countryside, people will keep their
Mhm.
pets outside of their house. Like the pets will not go to your bedroom. But I mean, in the city, people treat cats and dogs the same way as people do here. But again, it depends on where you go to. And people in the countryside, they have a bigger house.
Yeah.
They would let their pets running around. I wouldn't say that they would treat their pets worse than the way city people do. But if you live in a city, you just have more resources. And then in the countryside, you have more space. And usually when you have small space, you need the dog to guard your house. You need a cat to keep your food from, mice. That's why they roaming around. But yeah, I think there's stray cats and dog everywhere. My first cat is actually a stray one. It was a black cat. Just came into my house, and my brother was like, "Can we keep it?" And we literally hid it from our parents for a few days.
That's so
And
cute.
because my parents especially my mom didn't like to have cats, but they both both my parents learned to love cats because I turned a stray, stinky, skinny black cat into a very handsome one. So I'm very proud of it. And also, fun fact, in Vietnam, the sound of a cat is meow, and it sounds similar to the word meow, which is poor. And for dogs, the sound of the dog is go, and it sounds like zo, which is rich in Vietnamese. So when a cat comes into your house, it's considered bad luck because of
Oh.
that. I mean, it's kind of an old wives' tale, like just crazy thing. I don't know why people think that. People would prefer to have dogs in their house because of that. When a cat comes, they think it will bring all the poverty to your house. But if the dog comes, it will bring you wealth. And also a black cat is like, it means bad luck. So my parents were also very against the idea of us taking a stray black cat into our house. But we didn't care, and and again, I'm a rebel kid, guys. So
Yeah.
I want to prove, guys, it's gonna be okay, and it was okay.
Exactly. And with the
yeah.
poorness, Anne out there is proving that, if you know the budgeting and if you budget right, then you can bring the cat into your life and you can still be, I wouldn't say super rich, but you can still be decent, right? So this is all not true. And also, having a dog is way more expensive. So this is
Yeah.
wrong. Yeah. However, the black cat is also like a symbol of unluckiness in Russia. Like if you walk somewhere and then a black cat like cross your road, it means like something unlucky will happen
Oh,
to
it's
you.
the same in India. It's the same
Yeah.
thing.
It's
So
interesting
weird.
how it's
What's
all
a
the
curse?
same.
So
It's a
weird.
curse of black cats.
Poor
Like, I feel
cats.
so. I know. Even in Canada, I think most of the cat abandoned at the shelters are black cats because no one want to adopt them. I love black cats.
Me
Like if
too.
I had a choice, if I have a choice to adopt a black cat, I would. It was just at a time we open to any kind of cats that available to us, and we got Mandu. I mean, if I had an option, I would always go for black cats because they really really cute.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I would definitely adopt a cat. Like I wouldn't do a dog, but I would adopt a black cat.
Yeah, I think about it
Yeah.
too. And also come back to what you said, Jarell. I think it's great what your mom is doing at home. Is especially like she just does it by herself, which I'm assuming, right? She just goes
Yeah.
out there and she does her thing. I think it's very admirable. Not a lot of people care enough, and the fact that your mom's care is amazing. Joel's mom, if you're listening to this and you decide to make a whole organization to help with the pets in India, know that Someone Like Us podcast will wholeheartedly support you at any stage. Now, before we finish our episode, just a quick note. Do you guys ever think about like how long your pet will stay with you? And did you guys think about it, like before getting the pet, that it's not going to be forever? Did you guys, or it's going to take at least like, let's say at least 10 to 15 years of your life?
I mean, I lost my first cat after 2 years. I think we closed the door so he couldn't get home. And then, I don't know, maybe someone kidnapped him so he couldn't make his way back. So it was really painful for me. And same with our second cat. We moved to a new house and then we didn't know how to relocate him. Because with cats, you really need to be careful when you move to a new house. They attach to the house more than to you. So we lost the second cat and it was also very painful. The third cat, it was an accident. So I feel like I went through the pain of losing a pet 3 times. I mean, if it happened again, I would still be very sad. But when you have experience, it will be less painful, I guess. But it is something that it comes across my mind from time to time. We'll try our best to give them the best food that we can and the best health, take care of them. But it's very natural that we have to let them go. I hope that I can have my boys for at least 10 years
Yeah.
because I think that's how long cats can live. Some can even go 15 or 20 years, but I think 10 on average.
Oh, we can hear. Is it Skippy? Is it Skippy singing
Yes,
right now?
he's
He was
singing.
singing.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I also lost my first two dogs, and that was very painful. Like my first one was very painful. My second one was also very painful. I just feel like this is one of those griefs that will happen, but yeah, it's just hard to get over. My first dog passed away when he was 8 or 9 years old. We did love him a lot, and I know that he had a very loving life. Like all of the whole family loved him. My second dog also passed. My second dog passed away a little bit earlier, like 6 years. That was very painful. My mom was very close to him, and she also lost her dad at the same time. So it was a very rough time for her. But it was also very rough to lose him as well. I do think about Milo time to time, but I try to avoid that thought as much as I can. And as soon as that thought comes up in my mind, I'm like, okay, I'm planning a beach day. I'm planning a trail. I'm
Mhm.
planning something fun for him.
Mhm.
So that's the only way to keep going.
Which is my first, no, actually not my first pet. I used to have a parrot at home. Um, my parents are like super against like pets. I never had one before, so I literally grew up without any pets. I feel like because my parents are a little bit older, my mom comes from a village, so she had this kind of like, oh, pets are dirty. I don't want to have pets. My dad is like more like, oh, I would love to have pets, but my mom is said no. So then the whole family was like, well, at least mom said no, so it's a no now. So I still think about it. And it's funny because, the first 3 months I was crying because I was just like, oh my God, like I cannot do this anymore. Like we should return him. And then by fifth month I was crying because I was just like, oh my God, Mochi will die someday. And then my partner would be sitting there like me, he can live another like 10, 15 years. And I would be like, but he will die at some point. So sometimes it hits me really hard and I will like shed a tear a little bit or cry a little bit, and I'll always get like super motivational. Like tomorrow, I will walk 30 minutes instead of 20, or we will go for 1 hour walk instead, or I will give him a special treat. So I always get like that. I don't know how to process it. I don't know how it's going to be like when it happens. But, if you are deciding to get a pet, you need to understand that it is a long commitment, so you won't be able to get rid of them. I mean, you can, but what you will be a person that everyone will judge. Let's be honest. So this is a commitment, and also be ready to experience a horrible grief when it ends. If you're going through a grief right now, whether it's a pet or any others, we recently had a episode on dealing with griefs with Kritika Sharma. It's a great episode. She talks a little bit about how she, about loss of her pet as well. So please check it out. So just to end this episode, I will summarize a couple of things that you should know before getting a pet. Firstly, time and energy commitment. Pets aren't part-time, except for cats. With cats, you don't really have to do anything, but with a dog, it's definitely a commitment that you should be ready for. It is a long-term responsibility. Cats can live up to 10 years. Some dogs, depending on the size, can live to, again, 15 to 20 years. So it's definitely a big chunk of your life. Budgeting for both everyday and emergency expenses, or at least get that pet insurance if you can. Please research the right breed or species for your lifestyle. I knew right away I didn't want a super active dog that doesn't ask me to go walk with them. Mochi is very active, but again, he doesn't really need like that much activity versus Milo. And also considering adoption versus buying from the breeders. And if you're buying, please make sure that you're buying from a good place. And last one, think ahead about travel, housing. Every time your life changes, you will need to be ready for that. So that's our little crash course in Pets 101. Having a pet can bring so much joy, comfort, and even improve your mental health, or deteriorate if it's just a puppy. But it also comes with a lot of responsibilities and sacrifices. We hope that this episode helps if you're thinking about welcoming a furry friend into your life. Thanks for listening to Someone Like Us. If this episode resonated with you, please share it with a friend, and don't forget to follow us wherever you get your podcast. We'll catch you next time on Someone Like Us.